What's going on, everybody? If you are tuned in today, you are here to talk buying properties. Buying property, whether it is for your dream home in Colombia or it is for your investments. So bear with me. I'm just getting us charged up, so we're good to go. Let's take a look and see if we have Senor Daniel in. Daniel's going to be able to come on. So if you guys don't know, Daniel is one of our Move Travel Colombia experts. We have put together almost what I like to call the dream team for you guys to be able to move to Colombia without half the hassle that we had. Daniel is a specialist in real estate property and procurement. He'll be able to kind of get involved with your process and how it is that you're going to come about either finding that dream home here in Colombia or finding that investment. So let me just see what I can do to get Daniel on. Please, if y'all have any questions, put them into the chat. You know, Daniel is actually here to help. We have been very, very busy over the last couple of days. I don't know if you guys have been tuned in, but we talked about the relocation tours that are coming up in the next couple of months. We talked about, we met with Daniel Luque, who is the immigration lawyer who can help with your ability to get a visa, a number of different things. I learned some things on that call that I wasn't even aware of. And bear with me. Let me try to get Daniel on. Hope everybody's week is going good, man. I've been just dealing with the fact that things are consistently changing back home in America, man. I know there are so many people that have been jumping in my DMs trying to figure out where their next move is, if Colombia is the right spot, and I get it. It's been a whole week in a day since we actually got on. Bear with me. Technical difficulties are always a thing, but I think Daniel's traveling in Spain right now. Yeah, it looks like Daniel's in Spain. That's why we're doing this so early. But talk to me. You know, I know this is one way, but I know somebody is probably have a question about something that they want to see, something that you haven't seen yet, that you know you may want to see, for us to be able to answer. Somebody that can come in, and as far as one of our experts you might want to talk to, get a Q&A session going. What's the feedback at home? You know, I haven't been back in the States in a couple of months. You know, how is everybody on ground in regards to, you know, post-election? How's that going? While we're waiting for Daniel, what I will do is, while you are here, talk to you about the relocation tours, because that's probably your first opportunity after the new year you guys will have to be able to take a look at what it looks like actually moving here, living in Colombia. These relocation tours are designed to give you what your life will be like here as a local. You know, I just came back in the house from a meeting with one of the other expats, Jasmine. She's looking to bring some more of you guys down here. But these relocation tours are essentially designed to bring all of the experts. So if you go to movetravelcolombia.com, we have an entire team of experts that range from real estate professionals, local guides that know the city in and out. We also have people that know about veterans, people that are looking to move possibly with children, people looking for remote work. That is a big thing that has been deep in my inbox is, okay, I do want to leave, but how do I do it? You know, maybe you haven't been working from home, never. Maybe your job hasn't had you in front of a computer in a while. Looks like Daniel just joined. Let me get him on. We can get this party started. Let me get my TikTok folks back on because I know they probably like, what happened? I'm back. What's up, Daniel? How are you?
Hey Roger, how you doing?
I
Oh,
am
well,
doing
thank you.
well. I am doing well. How is Spain treating you today?
Good man, yeah, a little bit cold. Winter's just arrived, so happy to be coming back to Medellin next week. So yeah, it's it's all good from May to November, but after that, it's good to be back in the climate of Medellin. But I've heard it's a little bit raining over there. No, it's been
Yeah,
raining quite a bit.
it has been raining, and you know how Medellin is. It has been unusually cooler in the mornings, and you know the afternoon hasn't gotten as hot, so it's not too bad. I mean, I've got on short sleeves, nothing
Um,
like winter attire, so we're good there. So
yeah,
after talking
not
about you because you got before you got on, just kind of giving them an understanding of what it is and how you can help them, whether it's buying their dream home here in Colombia or looking for a rental property, and wanted you to better be able to tell them, introduce yourself, and kind of give an overview of how if somebody was looking for one of those two things, you would come into play.
Well, basically, I've been in property investment for the last 25 years. I started off in the UK, then I moved to Thailand and renovating properties in Thailand, Australia, Spain, and obviously the last 5 years in Medellin. So the problem, I think, with Medellin is that it's not legislated. The real estate industry is not legislated.
Mm.
That means anybody can just become a real estate agent. So you've got basically adverts. Firstly, the properties aren't exclusive to one real estate agent.
Mm.
So you'll have maybe 5 or 6 real estate agents trying to sell the same property, which causes its own problems straight away. In the States, I imagine it's quite different. You sign an exclusivity contract like you do in the UK and Spain, and you have one real estate company working for that one property.
Right.
On top of that, you'll get a lot of people who, like I say, just real estate agents who aren't qualified, who don't really know what they're doing, but they'll take copy images of adverts and they'll post it onto other Facebook groups or the platforms. So in essence, you've got maybe 20 people trying to sell the same property. No one knows the real price. No one knows what's going on. It's on top of that, the language barrier is a bit of a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first arrived in Medellin, I bought in Thailand, I bought around the world. And for me, it was one of the places where I found most difficult, even though I'm fluent in Spanish. Just because I just didn't know how it worked and what was going on, because it just seemed that there was no real structure for the industry. It's literally all over the place. Having said that, with time and with effort and making the right contacts, you can filter all that through. But if you're relying only on the MLS systems, it's not gonna really help. They don't really, they exist, but they don't work. It's literally contacts with contacts. The idea is that you give someone like myself a criteria, because obviously I'm a consultant, not a real estate agent, but you give me the criteria, what you're looking for, whether that be somewhere that you want to live, whether that's somewhere you want to kind of use as an investment in terms of STR or LTR investments, depending on the ROI you're looking for. And then we just look for the property. Look for the property, and obviously the legal aspect of it is very important as well, making sure the checks are right, making sure the house is in the actual owner's name, which we can go into with a few questions. But yeah, I think it's important if you're making the jump to move to Colombia, you need the right people behind you, and people that have had experience doing it and people that speak your own language in the sense and know how it should work in the States or in the UK, which I imagine is very similar anyway. So
yeah. No, and you mentioned something because it is a different process, and whether renting, buying properties. I feel like in the United States, you go to the realtor, you work directly with the realtor, and from hearing from what you're saying, you've been able to carve out a niche where your clients can come to you as a consultant, and you kind of handle all of the things that they would have probably gotten tripped up on in the past that you've seen, where trying to buy properties here in Colombia.
Yeah, basically just filtering it all from the aspects of your search criteria, because it's quite common that you're looking for a 2-bedroom apartment in Poblado, and then the real estate agents will send you a 4-bedroom house in El Retiro. No, it's like absolutely nothing to do with the criteria that you've been searching for. So really the idea is to filter all that through, Roger, and make sure it's as easy process as it should be, you know, and it is really an easy process once you filter through that. But you need to have clear what your objectives are and what your criteria is for the purchase. You know, once you've made that clear, I've got that clear, it's then down to me to find the right property.
We sound like we're in the same business, because I am not a realtor or a professional mover to anywhere. However, I have put together so many different resources because I know it's a lot different process from America than moving from one state to another. So, and looking at those things, that's why we're having a conversation with you, because no, I didn't come out here to rent property, to purchase property or investment, but I have a bunch of friends that have been jumping in my DMs and asking, like, what's it like over there? How do you actually go about doing it? And I didn't know. And now hearing from you, it's like, yeah, you may need to have a buffer in place to make certain that you're going to and dealing with the right people. So I get that 100%.
You can deal direct with them, but I just think you're going to waste a lot. You know, I wasted a lot of time. I wasted a lot of time being on the MLS systems, phoning up, ringing up, things were sold. I think a lot of the times they're put on there just to get your data anyway. You know, there's kind of data capturing adverts that's been sold a year ago, or they're just a lot cheaper than the market price and the square meter price. So you waste a lot of time. And I think a lot of the time the best thing to do is just get on the ground and start walking around, looking at signs, looking at things, ringing them up, you know, and that's how I found the properties, really. It's just putting the groundwork in. But they do work differently. Colombians have a different ethic in terms of, not Colombians, paisas, if you're talking about Medellin, because I think every region has a very different type of way of going about their business. You know, I've got a lot of friends of mine from Bogota, and they do business very differently from paisas, from Medellin. So, which I imagine is the same as if you saw someone from New York to Florida.
Yeah.
The business aspect is the same, but the way of dealing with people is slightly different. You know, the mannerisms, how you come across, the negotiation. Mm-hmm. So I think it's Medellin specific in that, but it's a great place to invest. You know, it's a, you know, Roger, it's a great place to live. It's a great place to invest if you're really wanting to get out of the country where you're living. It's becoming more and more popular now with Europeans as well, because before it's quite, you know, more populous with, I would say, the United States because of the distance between, but I think now it's just becoming popular worldwide. You know, Medellin is on the map, I think.
No, for certain, and you definitely lead into something, because we've got you here because you are going to be their buffer between the untraditionalness of what we're expecting from America or other places to coming to Colombia. But what are some of the biggest advantages that you've seen people take advantage of with buying properties in Colombia?
I think the last 4 or 5 years, the capital gains growth, if you're looking at investment. And I also think the rental yields, you know, I don't know too much about the American market, but you could quite, you know, you're easily on the 10 to 12% quite easily if you buy in the right areas in Medellin. Okay. And I don't think that's going to change very soon if you buy in the right areas. Still, the demand for being in Medellin, for staying in Medellin is still very high.
Yeah. And, you know, that's one of the things that Daniel Luque and I talked about was, you know, there is a visa if you were to come out here and purchase property and investment that you would be qualified for. And Daniel, you mentioned, you know, working with the lawyer. Daniel on his call mentioned you as well. So it's like, you know, there are a number of resources that have already brought to table from the legal perspective also that this kind of gets paired in with to make this a lot easier. Now,
yeah, we work as a team, Daniel and I. You know, Daniel's a fantastic guy. You've met him, Roger, you know. I wouldn't trust anybody else in Medellin, to be honest. He's a straight shooter. He's a lawyer. He's not a businessman. He does what he says he's going to do. And yeah, like you say, if you're building a team for your guys to come over, then obviously you've got the right people behind it already, because Daniel's a great lawyer and a great, more so a great person.
No, that's music to my ears. I know one of the questions that we had, somebody reached out to me regarding, time frame. Um, things may have been like, oh yeah, maybe I'll move out in a year or so. But then, the election happened, and depending on what side you're on, maybe your time frame went up drastically. If we were to start today and say, okay, I would love for you to start looking at a property for me, and you found the property today, how long does the other portion of that take?
Well, basically, to get your money from the States, you need to legally register that property, that money coming in, for obvious reasons. So that needs to go through a brokerage account. Now, to open up the brokerage account is about a 10-day to 2-week process. Once you have your brokerage account, basically it's like it's part of the Western Union. If you've heard of the Western Union, so it's the part of the group. 95% of foreigners need to use this because they need to register the funds coming into the country.
Yeah.
Why? Because if the funds aren't registered and you sell your property, then the account legally gives you the money to can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're good.
Okay. So the money basically needs to be registered legally coming into Colombia. Now that's a 2-week process to opening up this bank account. And then if we found a property today, we did the searches, the deeds, land deed searches, everything, the title search. 2 weeks for the brokerage account. You could be in a month if you had the cash ready.
That's not bad.
No, you could be in this. It's a pretty quick process.
Okay, that's good. I see we have a question. Yeah, Cameron. He wants to know, what is the average cost of properties in Colombia compared to California? I feel like California is probably the highest place in the United States to pick property costs from. But what are you seeing in
It's a very difficult
market?
question. It's a difficult question because Colombia you can be buying in Cartagena, you can be buying in Medellin, you can buy in Bogota. There's so many different places to buy. The prices differ depending on the city. Medellin.
Yeah, let's speak on Medellin for certain.
Medellin in Poblado, which is probably the most well-known, the most common area. Now you're looking at anything from like sort of the square meter. It very much depends. It's a difficult question, Roger, because it just depends on the type of property. It's like how long's a piece of string.
Yeah, I got you. Let's try to but like narrow it. Maybe like a 3-bedroom condo scenario, because
a 3-bed penthouse, 150 square meters. You're looking at 300K upwards.
Okay.
That's in Poblado. Now, if I was advising people to invest, I wouldn't be investing in Poblado because I think it's the bubbles, not the bubbles burst. I'm not going to say that because it hasn't, but I think it's increased to a point where there's other areas that are now kind of going to increase more if you're looking for capital growth. Envigado, Belén, Buenos Aires is a good place to invest at the moment. I think that's very close to Poblado. The trams running through, their infrastructure is very good. So there's different places. It very much depends on what you want and what your budget is. If you say to me, my budget is $150,000, I'm going to tell you here. If your budget is $500,000, I'll tell you here. So
yeah, no, that's good. There's some flexibility, and it sounds like you have like an intake process. And I saw the information you sent over to me. But can you kind of tell me what the intake process is of you with somebody when they go about engaging with you? How does that like work?
Well, firstly, basically, we'll have a meeting, whether that be online or face-to-face, if we're both in Medellin. And really just making sure we're getting very clear what the criteria is, because some people are going to come here to want to spend 9 months out of the year or 6 months out of the year. They want to rent the property for the other time that they're not here, or they want to be here full-time. Very much depends. So we put a list of criteria. We make sure we've got the budget, the criteria. I want a pool. I want 24-hour security. I want to be in Medellin. I want to be near the. Once we've got that done, We'll then drop a list of options in terms of ideas of style that I'll show people in terms of, okay, do you want this type of thing? Obviously, renovation work's possible as well. That's not an issue. So you see something that you like, that doesn't mean that necessarily it can't be changed. And then we start the process. You sign the contract, which will be the consultancy contract, and then we start work, and then we'll find the property.
Let me ask you, because I know when it comes to construction, even in the States, you know, finding quality contractors that work efficiently, you know, do you have a team of those? If somebody were to come into a place that they're like, I love this, the price is right, but I want to add on some things. Do you work with those guys?
Yeah, because my business, basically, my main business is fix and flips. That's what I do. So the consultancy has fallen in because of people just asking me, you know, like yourself, Roger, you know, DMs have been busy. Okay, friends of friends, other investors. So that's why I kind of fell into the consultancy side of things in Medellin, because my business is fix and flip. So yeah, we've got we're actually running 2 projects at the moment, one in Provenza and one Laureles, that are being undertaken at the moment. So yeah, we've got the team for that.
Nice. And you kind of
building from, sorry, Roger.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Building from the ground up, we've not done that yet. So if you said to me, I want to build a house, I want to buy some land and build a house, I would have to investigate that. I won't say it's not possible, but I'm telling you, kind of at the moment, it's all house renovations.
One thing you mentioned, and I did want to circle back into that, because when people are like, I want to leave, I want to go to Colombia, they're not realizing that, once again, Colombia is an entire country, and each particular place that you go is going to offer different things. And then once you actually get into that city, then you have to get into the neighborhoods and what it is that they offer. So when you're looking at from a research perspective, you not only need to narrow down to what city you may want to be, but you also have to take a look at the different neighborhoods. I know at least in Medellin, some places are really, really hilly. Like they are just like, you just up a hill, but they've got the most beautiful views. Others are set a lot lower and may not have as much of a beautiful view, but give you opportunities for walking to places where you may not want to have a car. Whereas if you go and live in the hills, you're probably going to need some sort of transportation that is reliable in order to do so. So when thinking about, do I want a condo, or do I want a rental property or an investment property, you have to think about what city in Colombia, where is it that you want that neighborhood to be, and what is it, the elements that you want the feel of it, because it's a lot different when you are looking for myself. I'm looking for my house, I'm going to be living there. Whereas if you're looking for an investment property or a vacation property, do you give people different advice when it comes to, okay, I'm not living here, but I just want to have my money working for me somewhere else?
Yeah, no, of course. That's all in the initial meeting. Basically, we've got a questionnaire, a very detailed questionnaire that you need to fill out. As you say, for me, for example, personally, the house that I bought to live in, for me, the most important thing was I was able to walk to the gym. I was able to walk to the local restaurants, to the supermarkets. For me, that's very important. Now, I've had to sacrifice the views to get that. So that will be something that you think about in the initial meeting. It's like, okay, what's more important for you? More important that you can walk outside in 5 minutes from a supermarket, or do you want the kind of typical Medellin views overseen, but then you need to rely on the home delivery services or Ubers to go buy your bottle of milk that you've run out of, so very much depends on, and again, you're living in it or you're trying to rent it out. If you're trying to rent it out, then we need to look at different areas. If you want a specific ROI related to the budget that you have, it very much depends, Roger, about everything. That's why we do the detailed kind of questionnaire at the beginning in the first meeting, to have this all clear, because if not, I'm just going to waste my time looking around for things that aren't necessarily what they want,
Yeah.
So neither want to do that.
And that's why these relocation tours are so important too, because we give you the opportunity to actually connect with Daniel here in Medellin. We give you the opportunity to actually go see some places with a number of other contacts that give you the ability to say, okay, what neighborhood do I actually want to live in? Like, I know I do not want to live in Plata, but when I first got here, that's all I knew. And I was like, oh, cool, I need to find a place in Poblado. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, that's where I want to be. And I'm like, I got here and was like, I'm not in Poblado, but I don't think I need to go there anymore. And living here versus living abroad and maybe visiting, just jumping in for a little bit, completely different. So, there's going to be a number of questions that are going to be asked from all of the experts to make certain that they're fitting you where exactly that is that you wanted to go, where you're going to be successful at as best as they can help. I think about it because some people may have already bought houses and familiar with even just property purchasing in the United States. But I've got some people that are relatively ambitious and they may be looking to purchase their first house outside of here. Can you give me some tips for somebody that was a complete first time buyer? Like, what do they even have to think about?
Well, I think firstly, as a foreigner, we can't lend money, so all house purchases need to be cash purchases. So I think that's an important aspect of before the search. In terms of the actual paperwork, it's very simple. The process is you find a property that you like, you make an offer. If the offer is accepted, you sign something called a promesa de compra-venta, which is a sales agreement, basically. Now you can say how much of a deposit do you want to put on that, 10%, 20%, 30%. Now you can also stipulate the time limits of how long that sales agreement will last before you have to sign for the deeds officially. Now, majority of the time, it's about 2 months. Okay, so we say 20% down. Let's just say, for example, 20% down, an average example, 20% down the property, and then 2 months to close with the notarial, which is basically where you have to go to the notary and sign the documents to have the property in your name. You then make the bank transfer on the same day, and you have to wait 2 or 3 weeks before the land registry puts that property in your name. It's really quite simple. It's a really simple process. Same process it is in Spain. I think the most difficult is finding the property and dealing with real estate agents. I think the actual process of buying it, once the title searches have been done, everything's legal, it's really pretty simple.
No, that is good to hear. So it sounds like a lot of we've got to get them educated just on what it is that they want and how it is that they want to go about it. There's 2 questions in the chat, and first one is, that was his next question, is would you think from a person that has never bought a property in the United States and this being their first property, both whether it's an investment or to live, do you think this is a wise and profitable move based off of what you've seen in the markets over the years?
Yeah, I'm here doing it, so I'm there doing it, so I'm in Spain at the moment. But yeah, I moved from Spain and I moved a lot of my portfolio to Medellin because I saw the possibilities that was there at the time, and I was proven correct. But I also think there's other places now. For example, when I get back, Roger, in a week, as you know, I'm back in a week. The idea is I'm going to do a 2-week tour of Pereira, Manizales, which is the coffee region, because it's the same climate. It's a little bit smaller than Medellin. The cities there, the prices per square meter is half of what it is now. Now the demand, obviously, we're very different, But I think maybe I'm speculating a little bit. So I'm going there to see what kind of prices that I can see, because you can buy a full mansion with a swimming pool in comparison to an apartment in Medellin. So it depends on what you want. Again, I'm quite happy to go there and live there and be there, not necessarily need to be in Medellin. So, but again, what do you want? Do you want to come here for ROI? Do you want to come here to live? ROI, you would get 10 to 12%.
Kyle, I know within your question, I'm trying to get Daniel back on, but one thing that he was mentioning is it all depends. Cartagena is going to be a different price than Medellin. When you get into the neighborhoods, if you're going to be in the most expensive place, which is like Poblado, it's going to range. Now, what I did say, let me get a 3-bedroom condo in Medellin. What does that look like? He mentioned that would probably be in Poblado, maybe about 300,000. I think he said 150 square meters. But places like Lorella, Sabaneta, Envigado, there are a number of. So Medellin is like New York. And when you get here, you'll see, because if you only ever been to Cartagena, Cartagena is really small. Whereas in here, it's kind of like the boroughs of New York, where you don't necessarily have to leave in order for you to be able to get, in order for you to be able to enjoy life. Like, I know my friends in Brooklyn, they're like, I'm not leaving Brooklyn. That's how I kind of feel like about Laurellis. Like, there are so many different neighborhoods, and what you need to do if you're really considering renting, purchasing for real estate investments, you have to come, because anybody can sit here and talk to you all day and hear the blue in the face about what may be your dream thing. But you might come and do all your research and believe it may be poblado and get here, and you might see a neighborhood that actually is completely different and is exactly made for you. So that is why these relocation tours are important. We literally take you around the neighborhood, show you all the local spots, gas stations, grocery stores, co-working spots, places for you to be able to see what you'd be going to every day. And then we do the neighborhood tours in a way that gives you the ability, one, hopefully poke your head into a place that is rentable in that area. And then two, go about finding out if it works for you. That's the biggest thing, you know. And when you come down here, and even if you're renting, going from an investment side, you've got to take a look at what do you want your investment to be. Do you want it to be a place where your vacation parents are coming and they're having a good time and they're around everything? Or is it a place for relaxation? So all of these things are about that preparation that we've been talking about over the last couple of days when it comes to what it takes to actually move. You know, he said, when you get here, fill out the paperwork. That part is easy, but where are you going to go? You know, selling your stuff when you actually go to leave. Like, there's so many things in preparation before you actually hop on the plane with all of your belongings and go to Colombia, Africa, Belize. Doesn't matter. And that is one of the biggest things that all of these experts will tell you. We do this, so we have you. But you have to come here with a certain amount of clarity and understanding of what it is that you want out of moving, what it is that you may want out of Colombia. Perfect. Daniel is back. Questions. Let's see. I did just see him in here. Accept. There we go.
Sorry, Roger.
Sorry about that.
No idea what happened.
My phone died.
True. Okay. I thought it was my side.
Nah, it was all on me. Completely. Okay. We lost TikTok, but Instagram is still here. And what I was telling, because the second question that we had in the chat was, once again, like, what does it cost? And I was telling everybody, like, comes down to what city you go into, and then what neighborhood is it that you want. Do you want a condominium? Do you want a standalone house? All of these things are factors in. Do you have anything that would help somebody, like a questionnaire or something that would kind of like get them thinking on their own about what it is that they want?
Yeah, we can send the questionnaires out, no problem at all. It's basically, but I think the first thing that they need to do, for me personally, is be in Medellin or be in Colombia. You know, I think the first thing is the first trip. You got to feel the energy. You've got to know. You've got to walk around the city. You've got to walk around the different areas. But if you've got a clear idea that you want to invest and you want it for investment purposes, then it's a completely different search to what it is if I want to sit here and I want to live here 9 months out of the year and it's for me. You know, it's a completely different ballgame. And again, doing it distance, you can do the search by distance, but I think they've got to kind of understand where they're going first. So we do property anybody's word well. For it.
Like, come see it and feel it with you.
Yeah. Lots of people say, oh, okay, Laurel, Poblado, you need to come there. It's like, okay, no, I live in Envigado. I think Envigado is fantastic. I love Envigado. I love Envigado because I can mix with local people. I don't feel like I'm in a huge group of foreigners and expats together. So I don't like that. I prefer to be kind of integrated into society here.
Exactly.
And that's why I chose Envigado, because I base it on walking around. I'm walking around and feeling the place. So that's the same if you go to Cartagena or Bogota or Pereira or Medellin. So have it clear what you want to do, get on a plane, have a look around, you know, because it's it's a holiday, you know. It's a profitable holiday, you know. It's you can enjoy the time here, and also you can learn a lot about the city, because I think
No,
you know
that's
yourself, Medellin is a very
that's
special
dope.
place. Colombia, for sure.
No, this is perfect. You know, I really appreciate you, Daniel, because I know that even before the thought of, you know, welcoming and creating an opportunity for people that are interested to come down, I think it came because I just kept getting so many questions. You know, years ago, I've gotten people asking me about investments in properties, and they're used to coming and renting Airbnbs, and they're like, well, how do I buy an Airbnb there so that people can rent it out? And this way, we now have a lawyer that can help with all the legal paperwork. We have an amazing consultant that understands a number of cities in Colombia, never mind the international market, that will help you be able to ease in. I think we have a question. This question is for, how often do you think you will have these Medellin relocation tours in 225 and beyond? Yeah, I think maybe people may need a few trips as well. Our first one is going to be in March. Based off of demand, we look to try to have at least 10 people per relocation tour. We have Medellin right now, as well as Cartagena. We will be adding Cali for those interested in Cali as well. But as much as the demand is here for the relocation tours, we will 100% work with everyone to get you guys back out here. If it kicks multiple times, that's fine. The good thing is that you guys head over to movetravelcolombia.com. You can try to start having some of these high level conversations with some of these people, get a better understanding of what it is that they do, how it is that they help you, and it'll start formulating some of these ideas. Obviously, we've got our different experts, so they've got their own hats. I myself, as well as Michelet, will be on live pretty much daily to make certain that we're not missing any questions that you guys have, or you might have went to sleep on Tuesdays live and woke up on Wednesday like, I forgot to ask that on the live. That's why we're here. So this won't be the only time you see Daniel. This will definitely not be the only time you see me. We are here to make certain that you guys feel 100% secure and comfortable with what it is, decision that you may be making. So thank you for that question. I definitely look forward for you to have you come out here. We're going to have some other things because I don't have any children. People are looking to move with their children. So the vet community out here, it's very, very big. There's a huge vet community. There is a VA that is here. There are better resources. So the opportunity, even if it doesn't impact me, I know it can impact you guys. So we will have a lot more of these conversations. Daniel, I appreciate you because you said I was in Spain. I was like, I might not want to do it until it gets back to Colombia, but you made the time, and I really appreciate that, and I know the community does.
No worries, more than welcome, and Roger, and very nice to meet you face to face now and have a chat properly. And like I said, I'll be back next week, so we're
Yeah,
more than
let's
happy to.
let's grab a beer or something once you get back.
Yeah.
I would definitely look forward to that.
And if you
I
guys
will be here,
if
so
have
you
any
just let me know.
questions, if you guys have any questions, just fire them on to me. I'll fire them back. You know, it's I understand how daunting it could be, or it can be, thinking about the move. But it's not as difficult as one thinks. You know, if you've got the right people in place, it's pretty straightforward. I understand why you would think that Colombia, of all places, you know, anywhere you're buying in a foreign land, you know, obviously the laws are different. But like I say, you've got lawyers that are basically behind you and representing you, and people like myself who finding the best deals, and it's not
Nah,
as
that's
easy.
real. We got y'all. Like I said, I really feel great to be able to say that we actually put in so much time to be able to be prepared for it. If it all hit the fan, what we're going to happen next. So I will be jumping off, but I will be back on in a couple of minutes with Michelet. We got some more opportunities for you guys to learn some more. Daniel, thank you so much once again.
Welcome.
Be safe getting back to Colombia from Spain,
Thank you.
and I'll see you next week.
See you next week, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.